Much more comfortable now. Let me tell you a story. A story about reality, about chimerical reality, about the reality shaped and formed by dreams. Like, what does this seem to you? Seems to be a mere brush. And yet, in reality, in the chimerical reality, the reality that matters, this is a sword flaming with ice and blue flames. You can't see it. No normal humans can see it, but if you allow me to just enchant you a bit, you will see what this... That failed. You can't be enchanted. Well, that explains so much. Anyway, to continue my tale, this appears to be a brush and is a sword. I appear to be a human and I'm a fae. We have our seemings, what we seem to you in the world, and the true chimerical seeming, what we are in reality. The ears, the face, as I go merrily around the road spreading my stories. It's a shame you'll never get to see those, but I can tell you the story. We came from dreams, as I said, dreams of humanity, glorious dreams, leadership dreams, wandering dreams, fairy tales, tidy dreams, nightmares. We all take our shape from these. That's what we were. Then, as I said, we were sundered from humanity and we were shattered. Banality, the force of normality, the force that denies dreams, that say, be reasonable, grow up, don't aim too high. It seeped into our world. It seeped into us. We couldn't survive it. The ones who fled to the dreaming, to the deep dreaming, to Arcadia, they could survive it. We couldn't. So we had to find a different way. A compromise with banality. A compromise with the power of the autumn world, as we call it, this world. So devoid of inspiration, but not completely so. So we became human. We became changelings. We became reincarnations. We are deep dreams from thousands of years ago, and yet we are born anew, human and human. As one dies, another human will be born, and that human will be, maybe, if everything is right, that changeling again. They'll grow up. Maybe just more creative than others, a bit more of an inspiration, a bit more head in the clouds, impractical. And then one day, when they're young, or even when they're old, there'll come a moment when their face sides awakes, and in an explosion of glamour, they will awaken to the world that is magic and see the magic around them for the first time, the real magic, the dream dance. It's a dangerous and exciting time when everything is new and you discover it and you indulge in it and you play with it, and the forces of the world push back on you. The forces not of reason, there's nothing wrong with reason, but the forces of reasonableness. Yeah, okay, dreams are okay, but now let's get a bit serious, right? And they'll push back against this bright light. And for the lucky ones, there'll be other fae around, and they'll find them and they'll foster them. And so they will grow to become fae themselves and help the next generation. And then generation by generation, we foster ourselves. Maybe I'll get to foster the ones who fostered me in another life. It's all a wonderful ride. Then there's the Arcadian way. That's a bit more dubious. That's for the she who've returned. They didn't want to do this. It was a bit too banal, a bit too human. So, in order to not mix with humanity, they decided to merge with humanity. Yeah, doesn't make much sense. But they did it their way. They came in and they forced the human out. Instead of adding their changeling self to generations of humans, they forced the humans out and said, we take control. There's a chance the human soul might be destroyed by that process, so we don't really approve. Fortunately, little by little, even those she, as they near the end of their lives, they're discovering the joys of starting again, coming to the changeling way. Now, we go through certain cycles as changelings. We start as a childer. As a child, it's very similar to being a child, like I suppose even you once were, full of enthusiasm, magic, and joy about the world. Everything there is to be experienced. It's wonderful. Mine. Oh, great, let's play. Then they move on to the wilder, the teenagers. They want to experience all the world, but on their terms. They want to go and have adventures. They're not just passively sitting there. They want to go out. You know, the equivalent of having sex. Things are new and we're making them. We are following paths. We're forging paths. We're not listening to the advice of our elders. And then, as the most creative phase of all changelings, the ones where there's the most change, the ones where there's the most potential. And then some of us move on to grumps, as they really hate being called. They are wise. They've seen a lot. They know not to rush into too many things. They get a bit too human, but we love them still. They still have spark, they still have the creativity, but they're more about guiding others, not taking the initiative. That's what a grump is. And there you have it. That is the life cycle of a changeling.